Hi everybody, this is Michelle. This is a project share that I have to show everyone today, and it's also a video response to the PaperSpeaks Pat Pointer's Right Direction Challenge. The requirements for the challenge are you have to be a subby. You can do any project, but it has to include an arrow or a pointer. You need to do a video response, and for an optional entry, or a bonus entry, you have the option of including the color orange somewhere in your project. So this is my video response for that. And this is a junk journal that I've made. If you're familiar with Girl Scouts organization, you'll see that this is the logo here. I've been a Girl Scout leader now for, this is my 14th year. I graduated my older daughter's troop out last year, and I'd been with them from the beginning, and my younger daughter is graduating next year, and I've been with them from the beginning. So I've led their troops, but I'm also our area service unit manager, all volunteer basis, and that just is a fancy title for saying that I lead the leaders, I guess. But anyway, in May at our last meeting of the year, leader meeting of the year, I like to do a dinner for them to just thank them for their service to our community for the year. And this year, because I have a little bit more time than I know I'm going to have next year when my daughter graduates, I decided to do a little special for them. So I'm going to be doing giveaways through the night, and this is going to be my final giveaway, and it's just a journal that I made. And this is an old Girl Scout handbook that I found at the thrift store, and I just chopped off the binder, the binding, and took out the guts and made a journal. So I'm going to walk you through. Here's the trim and the charm here. This piece kind of looks like a crown, was actually an earring that I picked up at a yard sale, and I just, it already so nicely had those little holes there, so I just hung some charms. This is a little sun, and on the back it says made with a smile, and a key, and this is an owl. I picked up a string of these from Hobby Lobby on clearance, and he did not have a hook on him, so I just used some floral wire to create one. I have not figured out yet how to do all these charm things, so I just kind of work with what I have and make it work. And then this is just a flower charm I picked up at the flea market a couple weeks ago. Everything in this journal, except for the binding, it was purchased on clearance or thrifted from a yard sale flea market. So the cover is really simple. Just this is a leather flower and layered with a paper recollections or a fabric recollections flower, and then a paper spare parts flower, some bling and a feather, ribbon rose with a rhinestone in the middle on top of another one of those fabric recollections flowers that I got on clearance at Michael's. And this is just a little pom-pom trim. It's hard to see because it's black, but it's like a fuzzy trim. And this little rhinestone here is one of the office accent thumbtacks from Michael's out of the $2 bin I used a coupon for, and just chopped off the tack part. And I love these rhinestones. I think I have every color because they're nice and big and bright. They're really pretty. And then some Scrabble tiles that I glossy accented with a spare parts flower. And here's some black lace and magic mesh behind it. That's from many years ago when I was doing Stampin' Up. And this is the Girl Scout symbol that is actually a brad that I cut off the brad part and glued it down onto some lace. So that is the cover, and some flat back pearls just to give a little more bling. That's the cover. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. And I'm going to blow through all this pretty quickly because I don't want this video to be too terribly long. But I Mod Podged this page onto the cover just to give it a little bit more something. And this washi tape is here because the young girl that had originally had this book had written her name in it, so I just covered it up. And all of the papers are just thrifted papers. I'll just kind of go through. This is an old K & Company Girl Scout stack that I had picked up on clearance at Joann's several years ago. It's double-sided, nice thick paper. These are original pages from the handbook that I put in here. This paper here is paper that I made. It's glossy Stampin' Up! Paper. Sorry for the glare. This is the third time I've done this video, and yesterday it was nice and sunny and everything was going good, but the phone rang and so I'm trying again. Anyway, this is glossy paper. Several years ago I belonged to a stamping group, and we would get together and stamp, and we would have, it was a Stampin' Up! Group, and the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator would always show us some type of a technique, and this was made with alcohol and the inks, I think, and you put it on a cotton ball and dabbed it on there. I don't even remember. That's how long I've had it. Yes, I'm a paper hoarder, because it's probably been 7, 8, maybe even 10 years now. But anyway, the colors went really well with this, and I just stamped on the back. A piece of blank paper with this owl stamp from Michaels. You'll see him throughout because I didn't really have a lot of nature stuff. This is a Starbucks, well, obviously you know it's a coffee sleeve, and I had seen this in Butterbee Scraps. She had done a video on a junk journal she had made, and I thought it was a really cute idea to use for tags. And then this is a map, and I'm going to skip over that. Here's an arrow. A lot of the embellishments and die cuts that are throughout this book are from the Basic Gray Factor Fiction that I had bought on clearance when they were clearancing that out at Joann's. And this is from Factor Fiction, Smash Book tag, some paper flowers, and just a trim for a spot. This is K & Company vintage paper. I can't remember the line. I've used it before in other journals. Piece of scrapbook paper from my stash with some Stampin' Up! Corner stamps. More pages from the original handbook. I tried to include a lot of blank spaces in here and blank papers. I didn't do a whole lot of embellishing, just so that it wouldn't be quite so chunky. And these are Martha Stewart stickers that I added glitter to. I don't know, I'm not real big into glitter. I like it, but it's messy. This is another page from the original Girl Scout handbook with these die cuts that I had in my stash. And this is from the Factor Fiction embellishment line. More Girl Scout paper. Just some blank note paper. And this is a piece of textured wallpaper that I had gotten a bag of from the thrift store, and I like to use it in journals because it's different and it's got texture in it. And then this fabric circle here is from Factor Fiction, and those are orange polka dots. So Mel, there's my orange, with a flower from the thrift store that I took apart and added a paper flower and a rhinestone flat back. One of the wood veneer stickers that Michaels has had on clearance. It says Adventure with a little bling and just some tags. This is actually a playing card with a local scene. I had gotten these at an estate sale a couple of weeks ago and was really thrilled to find out that the pen and ink drawings on them are local scenes for us. And then this is just a Rolodex card that I'm using as a tag. And I covered the back of this paper with the wallpaper with the scrapbook paper and added this banner, which is also from Factor Fiction. Another page from the Girl Scout handbook. Just a piece of scrapbook paper that I used my favorite Martha Stewart eyelet punch on. This paper is from GCD's Great Outdoors collection that Michaels had on clearance a couple of months ago. It was $2.99 for the paper pack, and even though it's only one-sided, it's really thick paper. It's really nice. So I'm going to pocket on the other side with some tags, and then I fussy cut out another piece of this same paper for that. Here's another piece of scrapbook paper. Here's some more arrows for the Right Direction Challenge, and a little Factor Fiction embellishment there, and another one back here. It says Enjoy the Journey. Piece of really, really hard cardstock that I use my Stampin' Up! Corner punch on. and a few Girl Scout stickers that I had, more blank pages. This is some very old Stampin' Up! Scrapbooking paper. I think it was when they first started coming out with the papers. That's how old this is. With another one of the Fact or Fiction fabric die cuts and a piece of lace that I cut from a placemat I had gotten at the flea market a couple weeks ago, and a metal piece also from the flea market. And this is just a piece of cardstock with some die cuts on it. These are Recollections die cuts, I believe, and a ladybug stamp with a frame from Fact or Fiction and a Recollections butterfly. These are from some vintage field guides. I used this just a page. More paper from the Great Outdoors with a Fact or Fiction embellishment frame. These are acetate now. No, I actually think that's paper. Index card with some tags on it, and a paper clip with some brown seam binding that has curled up very nicely. I'm liking that. More Stampin' Up! Scrapbook paper. Some of you that have been doing Stampin' Up! For a long time may recognize it, how old that is. And then here's a map, but I'm going to skip over that. A poem. This is from an Ideals book, if any of you are familiar with those books. They have great poetry and pictures and artwork, and I'm finding they're making nice journal inclusions. Another piece of scrapbook paper and a little die cut that says A Perfect Day, and that's some music. This is scrapbook paper, not actual music notes. These are journaling cards from We Are Memory Keepers. I picked up at Michael's with a coupon. The colors went nicely, and they're just a nice touch. Another piece of scrapbook paper with some Seven Gypsy. This is a Seven Gypsies tag, and this is Fussy Cut from the Haberdash DCWV collection with a bookmark and a brad from the Fact or Fiction line that says "You Make My Heart Sing," and I cut the brad part off, and there's another map that I'm going to flip over. Another blank page with our owl stamp again. More Girl Scout paper from Can Company. And then this is my paper bag, altered paper bag that I used a variety of different papers on. These are all from the Fact or Fiction, these tags. This is an acetate one. And then I have a blank tag in the pocket. And then the other side, sorry for the jumping, more tags and some die cuts. This is from the Fact or Fiction line too. And then another blank page for more journaling and photos. This beautiful vintage paper is also from the Haberdash collection. That was an old collection I actually had picked up at Big Lots, so I know, it's really old. Although I think I've seen this paper in a recollection stack recently. With some tags and a paper clip and another vintage-looking map. And then this pocket here I made with just a stack of paper that I had picked up. It's already cut this way, and I think it's DCWV Glimmer Stack. I'd gotten a whole stack of it from clearance at Michael's. And this is a die cut that I covered with washi tape. And while I like the flower, this pocket looks very busy to me, so I think I really wish I had just done the flower. But another doily and a paper flower with a green flatback pearl and some tags. And that's the back of that. Some note paper from a vintage book, craft paper, another page from the Girl Scout manual that I did a little bag and some tags on that says Modern Woman, and then I stamped Well-Behaved Women Rarely Make History. That's from an old Stampin' Up! Set. A little pocket page with some tags. I got these cards in a swap that I did from the Cheek Swaps from the Heart Facebook group, and just decorated it. Stampin' Up! Stamp from the Bugs and Slugs collection. And this stamp here I picked up a couple days ago from Michael's. It was on clearance for 79 cents. It's a nice stamp. This is more paper from the Great Outdoors line. Another journaling card from We Are Memory Keepers. This is from the Flowers Field Guide. Those are very vintage. And Daisy, which is the nickname of the founder of Girl Scouts. This is an envelope pocket that I used my Martha Stewart eyelet punch on. It's the only punch I have right now, so, and I love it, so I use it all the time. And a piece of, this is not washi tape. It's like washi tape. It's actually a sticker from the Fact or Fiction embellishment. And then I use my Daisy punch to make a little flower. And then a blank sheet with some tags back here, just different papers. Another piece of the Girl Scout paper. This is a cover off of, and if you're Girl Scout affiliated, you'll know what this is. This was they don't do them anymore, but this was the book, Safety-Wise, that had all of our rules and policies and procedures in it that we had to follow. But this is a very old one. And then this is a laser cutout that that I had in my stash. An index card that I put some washi tape, and again my daisy punch, or my flower punch I made. And then this was just an image that I downloaded and fussy cut out. A piece of vellum and the back of the book. So that is the journal, and I'm sure it's probably not going to close very well. And I know I missed some orange in here because on this bag right here is another orange arrow. So they're in there, and I'm sorry if I didn't point them all out. Like I said, this is the third time I have done this, and I'm hoping that this time is the charm. So thanks for watching and hanging in there for the full 17 minutes. I hope y'all have a great day, and thank you. Leave comments below. Thanks. Bye-bye.